stating that such investigations were undertaken in coordination with said foreign counterparts. May we hear from DFA, NBI, and PNP. DFA first.
Good morning, Madam Chair and honorable members of the Committee on Justice for the Department of Foreign Affairs. So as discussed during the last committee hearing on the 24th of February 2026, the Department of Foreign Affairs instructed our FSPs in France, the United States, and Australia to request any available information as requested. So the department respectfully informs the committee of the following reports. So based on a report from our Embassy of the Philippines in Washington, D.C., based on U.S. law enforcement counterparts, there are no derogatory records found for Mr. Soriano and Mr. Lucci. As for Mr. Butler, the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade regretfully informs...
We are not yet discussing Michael Butler. We're still on Mr. Soriano and Mr. Lucci.
My apologies, Your Honor. So, based on our report from the Philippine Embassy in Washington, D.C., there are no derogatory records from our counterparts for Mr. Soriano and Mr. Lucci, Your Honor.
So, did you submit or are you submitting a certification?
The U.S. law enforcement counterparts...
No, I mean the certification from the DFA that indeed you made the necessary
yes, Your Honor.
Comparable background investigation with your foreign counterpart.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have the certification with you?
Your Honor, we ask the kind indulgence of the committee if we may be able to submit within the week as it requires clearance from our principals, Your Honor. But we will produce the said certificates.
Okay. So we manifest I will appreciate that as an undertaking.
Yes, Your Honor.
The undertaking of the DFA to submit the required certification within the week. That is needed in support of the application of this to foreign nationals for naturalization.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, DFA. May we hear from NBI?
Good morning, Madam Chair. As far as the NBI is concerned, the International Operation Division or the Interpol, we communicated via email and letter. We sent a letter to FBI Attaché India Jones of Manila, but they required more identifiers like date of birth, passport, and other information with respect to Mr. Soriano and Lucci. And in other words, they cannot give exact recommendation or information as to whether or not there is a derogatory records as far as these two personalities is concerned. So we would again communicate and if possible that these two applicants for citizenship get a new or latest NBA clearance if possible, Madam Chair.
Yes, but the certification which is being required by the committee is to the fact that the NBI conducted a comparable background investigation with your foreign counterpart. We are not requiring a specific investigation to be done by the foreign counterpart. We're just requiring a certification that indeed you made the necessary coordination and for you to state as well what kind of investigation was conducted by the foreign counterpart.
Yes, noted, Madam Chair. So I will, because our liaison officer is not here, I just represent him.
May I know, sir, if you were the one who were present during the February 24 hearing?
No, Madam Chair. I'm newly assigned in International Operation Division. So this is the first time I heard about this case. But nevertheless, I will communicate to our liaison officer to make immediate a position paper with respect to...
It is not actually a position paper, but a certification.
A certification, I'm sorry, Madam Chair, a certification with respect to Mr. Soriano and Lucci, Your Honor.
We made it clear during our hearing on February 24 that what we are requesting from the DFA, the NBI, and the PNP is merely a certification as to the investigation that was conducted by the foreign counterpart. We did not require the extent of the investigation that must be conducted. What is only important to the committee is that you coordinated with your foreign counterpart and the foreign counterpart indeed provided result of some sort of background comparable background investigation. We have to understand that these are foreign nationals applying for Filipino citizenship. So the clearances provided by the government agencies in our country, I believe, should not be sufficient. We should know as well the background of these applicants from their home countries. And that is why these certifications are being required from the agencies. May we know from the NBI when you can possibly submit this certification? I hope you bear with the committee, you bear with the applicants, because this directive has been issued to the agency since February 24. Now is May 6 already.
I understand, Madam Chair. So I will inform the liaison officer of our the NBI to submit immediately the certification on the next possible hearing, Your Honor.
Can you submit that within 1 week? Along with the DFA? Because we cannot approve or disapprove. We cannot take action on the application for naturalization unless you have submitted these documents, because these are significant in the decision of the Justice Committee, whether to approve or not. Can we do that in 1 week time?
Madam Chair, in as much as I wanted to commit, I am not in the position to give that commitment, but I will immediately talk to the liaison officer to communicate with your office, Madam Chair.
Well, Mr. Soriano is here because he is anticipating that the Justice Committee will be taking action on the application. Apparently, we cannot do that because part of our consideration, evaluation will come from the documents that you will be submitting to the Justice Committee. So I hope you find ways to be able to come up with the certification being required by the Justice Committee.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Wala tayong nire-require na type or extent of investigation from the foreign counterpart. What we just need is for you to certify that you coordinated with them and somehow they did some comparable background investigation on which you are basing your recommendation about their naturalization application. Because I understand that the NBI manifested interposing no objection. How can you say that you are not objecting when you have not seen the result of the background investigation from the home country? So I hope you pay attention to this, NBI. I hope you consider this as one of your priorities. I understand you're addressing a lot of concerns in your agency, but please provide the necessary attention to this because this has been pending with us, or the order has been issued to you, the directive has been issued to you as early as February 24.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Madam
Thank
Chair.
you. The Honorable Joel Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I would just like to inform all the agencies concerned to take this matter seriously. Because kagaya po ng sinasabi po ng representative ng NBI, he was not the representative during the last scheduled hearing. Ang hirap po nung pagkapaiba-iba yung representative. And I think the proper representative that they should task to attend in this committee hearing are those personnel or representative who can decide immediately. Alam nila yung ginagawa nila. Otherwise, we are just wasting our time and the time of the applicant. Thank you po.
We note the manifestation of the Honorable Chua. May we hear from the NBI? No, PNP. The PNP was given similar directive to issue that certification. May we know the status of that certification, PNP?
Madam Chair, members of this honorable committee, good morning.
We can't hear you.
So, good morning, Madam Chair and
Good
members of this
morning.
committee. Okay. So, I am Police Lieutenant Colonel Ron Carlo Quixote.
I can't hear you.
Okay. In behalf of my principal, Police Major General Lopez, if I may, I can explain the efforts of the PNP on the conduct of CBI to the applicants. Can I explain it in
The
detail, ma'am?
committee is not actually requiring an explanation about the efforts of the PNP. What we are requiring is just a certification
Okay.
about the coordination with the foreign counterpart. That's all.
Okay. For the certification, if we already submitted to this committee certification from the IDM, and also a memorandum from the police attaché, our police attaché in the United States as well as in France, stating that they have the applicants for the citizenship don't have any derogatory records, ma'am.
Can you state again the agency from their home country?
Okay. So, for the
What's the name of the agency?
So for France, it is okay. For the United States, we on the certification, we did not indicate the specific agency in which our police attaché coordinated. Because of course this is an intelligence
But you did
effort.
the coordination.
We did on the counterparts local enforcement agencies.
Yes,
in the
it's
United
just that
States.
you did not mention the name of the
Yes.
agency.
Yes.
But it's important that you mention that. Can you include that in your certification that you will be submitting to the committee?
Okay, we will, ma'am.
Does that apply for both Mr. Soriano and Mr. Lucci already?
For Mr. Lucci, for our coordination in France, we have the specific agency indicated.
Okay.
Okay.
So do we have the certifications already for both applications? None yet?
None yet.
Okay, so when will you submit the certifications?
We can submit it today.
Today.
Your Honor.
Okay. Okay, I was informed that the Bureau of Immigration is here already. May we hear from the NBI? From the Bureau of Immigration, rather. Whether they have submitted the necessary position paper? Bureau of Immigration?
Good morning, Madam Chair. For the BI, we haven't submitted yet our position paper, and for that, we respectfully request for this committee for additional time to submit the same, considering that we receive only the.
I hope you understand that the directive was issued as early as February 24. Now it's May 6. I don't understand why you are requesting for more time. BI.
Sorry, Your Honor. For these two applicants, sorry, Your Honor, we already submitted our.
You
position
already
paper.
submitted for the two applicants?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So where are the certifications?
Uh,
COMSEC kindly received the certifications from
Yes,
the
Your
Bureau of
Honor.
Immigration, as well as the certification of the Philippine National Police.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
So you're ready to submit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. We note that. Thank you, PNP. Last is BI. I always mention NBI. Hindi na ako nakaalis sa NBI. BI. Last among the deliverables is the DFA to submit their position on the question that was raised by the Honorable Attorney J.P. Padiernos. This is with regards to the consequence of Philippine naturalization to their current foreign citizenship. DFA?
Good morning, again, Honorable Chair. We inquired from our embassy in Canberra, Australia, as regards Mr. Butler. So
I think the question pertains to the application of Mr. Soriano and Mr. Lucci because these were the applications pending during the hearing of February 24. The
yes.
question that was raised is the effect of the naturalization here to their foreign citizenship.
I apologize, Your Honor. So, Your Honor, the Department of Foreign Affairs, our opinion is that the exercise of legislative authority of the HOR, whether to allow Mr. Soriano and Mr. Lucci to retain their original citizenship, we believe that allowing so would not result to the renunciation of their original citizenship, Your Honor.
So this will be resulting to a dual or even multiple citizenship.
That's the opinion of the Department of Foreign Affairs, Your Honor.
Okay, so we know the opinion of the Department of Foreign Affairs. Kindly submit the position paper.
Yes, Your Honor.
COMSEC, please receive the position paper. Considering that the DOJ will still be submitting their position paper on the matter within the period of 1 week as manifested, and that the NBI will still confer with the representative who attended the February 24 hearing, and then they will submit, I hope soon, the committee cannot take action yet on the applications of Mr. Soriano and Mr. Guillaume Lucci. We hope that on the next hearing, all the necessary position papers and certifications are already with the committee. No? I hope that this manifestation, this pronouncement will serve as a gentle reminder to the government agencies to submit promptly the required certifications and positions papers. Again, for the record, these are necessary for the committee's consideration of the application for naturalization of Mr. Lucci and Mr. Soriano. With that, we're suspending the deliberation on the first two bills on naturalization until our next hearing. We thank Mr. Soriano for being present today, and we do not want to waste so much of your time. We are done with the second deliberation of your naturalization bill, so you are now excused. Would you like to say something?
Yes, thank you so much for having me today, and really appreciate all the efforts that have gone in. It's an honor always to be here with you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Soriano. We would like to seek the indulgence understanding of Representative Saldevilla that we will be calling the application for naturalization of Mr. Butler on the last part of the hearing, because indeed the original flow is this will be the last. We just do not want to waste so much time of the applicant, Mr. Soriano. So with that, we will go back to our original flow of our agenda. So the second item in the agenda is or are the bills proposing the creation of a joint congressional commission on justice system reform. The committee secretary is directed to read the title of the bills for consideration and the respective authors.
Thank you, Madam Chair. House Bill number 7305, an act creating a joint congressional commission on justice system reform to conduct a comprehensive assessment of the administration of the Philippine justice system and provide policy recommendations and reforms, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds therefore, and for other purposes, filed by Representatives Jose Manuel Tadeo Chel I. Diokno, Percival Percy Sendanya, Dada Kiram Ismula, and Kaka J. Bagao. House Bill number 7635, an act creating the Joint Congressional Commission on Justice System Reform, defining its powers and functions, providing funds therefore and for other purposes, filed by Representative Laila M. De Lima. That's all, Your Honor.
Before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Janice Digamo from the 3rd District of Negros Oriental, as well as the Honorable Congressman Richard I. Gomez from the 4th District of Leyte. At this juncture, we will recognize the authors of the bill on Joint Congressional Commission on Justice Reform. To start with, we are giving the floor to the Honorable Chel Jokno, one of the sponsors of House Bill number 7305. Honorable Jokno is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Chair, esteemed colleagues, resource persons, and guests. We must face the hard truth. Our administration of justice is in a state of crisis. According to the World Justice Project, the Philippines is only 97th out of 143 countries when it comes to the rule of law index. That is our lowest placement in history. As of 2022, mahigit 113,000 na persons deprived of liberty ang nag-iintay ng resolusyon sa kanilang mga kaso. Dagdag po dito, 20% lamang ng mga Pilipino ang may access sa sapat na legal assistance. These are not just statistics, Madam Chair. They represent real human suffering. This has resulted in the widespread lack of accountability, a culture of impunity, and distrust of the public in the government, which impedes our country's economic and social progress. That is why, Madam Chair, it is high time that we create a JustCom that will provide a comprehensive, independent, and legislative-led assessment of our justice sector. The Joint Congressional Commission on Justice System Reform, or JustCom, will not only review and audit existing laws and programs. It will also propose reforms that will strengthen the 4 key pillars of our justice administration system: law enforcement, prosecution, corrections, and community. Higit sa lahat, layunin nito na ayusin ang mga systemic bottlenecks na nararanasan sa justice sector sa pamamagitan ng pagbuo ng National Justice Development Plan at Omnibus Justice Reform Act. Mahalaga ito dahil kailangan ma-align ang legislative efforts sa Strategic Plan for Judicial Innovations 2022 to 2027 ng ating Supreme Court. The judiciary is already pushing for efficiency, innovation, and access through the SGPI and other projects like eCourt Philippines 2.0 and the integration of artificial intelligence for court operations. To ensure that these reforms are sustainable and holistic, we need to synchronize the efforts of the judicial and legislative departments. Layunin natin ang isang sistema ng hustisya na mabilis, patas at tunay na makatao para sa bawat Pilipino. Just to add, before I end, Madam Chair, my own experiences as a litigator for the last 35 or so years really illustrate the problems that we have in our justice system, and as well the fact that we have not only problems with access to justice but also delays in the resolution of cases. For these reasons, we respectfully urge the committee to support this measure. Maraming salamat po.
The committee notes the sponsorship speech of one of the authors of House Bill 7305, otherwise known as JustCom, the Honorable Chel Jokno. Now we recognize the author of House Bill number 7635, similar bill on JustCom, the Honorable Laila De Lima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The Honorable Chair, distinguished colleagues, and our resource persons. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. First, I wish to manifest that the explanatory note of my bill, House Bill number 7635, be incorporated in my sponsorship speech. In addition, let me further express these remarks. A justice system that is low, inaccessible, and vulnerable to undue influence erodes the very foundations of democracy and the rule of law. When truth-seeking and accountability are delayed or obstructed, especially in cases of corruption of public officials, the social contract between the state and its citizens weakens, corroding public trust in government. Ang patuloy na pagkaantala, ang kakulangan sa pananagutan, at ang mga bukas na kahinaan sa ating sistema or bakas na kahinaan sa ating sistema ay nag-uudyok ng pagpatuloy ng impunity. This is not merely a procedural problem. This is a constitutional crisis. In 2025, a massive corruption scandal involving billions of pesos in diverted public funds shocked the nation. Hundreds of thousands took to the streets demanding justice and accountability. These were not merely political expressions. They were a clarion call from our people. Restore justice, restore accountability, restore our faith in government. My bill, House Bill number 7635, very similar to House Bill 7305, authored by, among others, the Representative Chel Jokno, confronts these realities by establishing the Joint Congressional Commission on Justice System Reform. Layunin ng panukalang ito na itatag ang isang independent at time-bound na komisyon na magsasagawa ng komprehensibong pagsusuri sa ating justice system, tutukoy sa mga structural bottlenecks at magrerekomenda ng mga konkretong reforma upang mapabuti ang efficiency, transparency, at accountability. The JCCJSR is mandated to diagnose what is broken in our justice system and prescribe the cure. The Commission is vested with formidable investigative and enforcement powers to ensure nothing impedes its work. The body is vested with the authority to issue subpoenas for both testimonies and essential records, ensuring full access to public documents from key institutions like the DOJ and the Supreme Court. It is empowered to conduct comprehensive hearings, adopt its own rules for swift action, and engage independent experts alongside the Philippine Institute for Development Studies for rigorous data-driven analysis. Ultimately, these powers enable the production of actionable recommendations for executive reform and legislative interventions. These are not decorative powers. They are the teeth that will allow the Commission to get at the truth, cut through obstruction, and deliver real reform. Madam Chair, honorable colleagues, without substantive change, we are condemned to repeat the cycles of scandal and outcry that erode our governance, our economy, and our very social stability. When we support and vote for this bill, we are voting for much more than a piece of legislation. We are voting for a justice system that finally serves the poor and the marginalized, for accountability that is both real and swift, and for a rule of law that fortifies our democracy and restores the people's trust in their government. I respectfully and humbly urge the swift passage of House Bill number 7635, the Joint Congressional Commission on Justice System Reform Act of 2026. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
We know the sponsorship speech of the author of House Bill number 7635 on the creation of JCCJR. Did I say it right, Kong Laila?
Yes, Madam Chair.
So we heard the JustCom from Kong Chel. Now we are hearing JCCJR from
JSR.
Kong Laila de Lima. With that, we will now hear the manifestation of the resource persons on these two bills, House Bill number 7305 and 7635. ComSec, please call the resource persons.
From the Department of Justice, State Counsel Attorney Chaveli Joan Batoon and State Counsel Attorney Normina Hadjula Tadifa.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, please allow me to read the draft position paper of
Yes,
the
can you
department.
speak closer to the microphone? You may proceed.
Yes. This is the draft position paper of the department. Dear Representative Luistro, we refer to your request for a position paper. I will just read the highlights, Madam Chair.
Please proceed.
We refer to your request for a position paper on the following bills: House Bill number 7305 and House Bill number 7635. The proposed measures establishing a joint Joint Congressional Commission on Justice System Reform, JASTCOM, seek to create a legislative body tasked with examining systemic issues in the administration of justice and recommending reforms to strengthen the justice system. While the objectives are recommendable and aligned with the state's interest in an effective and responsive justice system, the measures raises significant constitutional and institutional concerns that require careful consideration, particularly on the provisions of sections 4, 6, and 9 of both bills on the composition and the compensation of the members of Congress and the judicial and executive oversight. In gist, Madam Chair, to avoid duplication and inefficiency, the Commission should coordinate its activities with ongoing initiatives by the Supreme Court, the Department of Justice, and the Justice Sector Coordinating Council. Its mandate must remain strictly legislative and non-supervisory. The JustCom may contribute constructively to justice sector reform only if its mandate is clearly confined to functions in aid of legislation, explicitly recognizes the SC's authority over judicial administration, respects the department's operational role, and coordinates with existing reforms initiatives. Any ambiguity suggesting I skip the discussions on the ambiguity, Madam Chair. Any ambiguity suggesting evaluative or supervisory powers over the judiciary or executive agencies would render the measure constitutionally infirm. Careful drafting is essential to ensure that the JustCom complements rather than duplicates or interferes with ongoing reform programs upholding judicial independence and the separation of powers under the Constitution. Respectfully submitted for the committee's consideration. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Have you submitted that position paper or manifestation to the committee? Not yet. COMSEC, please be directed to receive the copy of that letter or manifestation from the DOJ.
Madam Chair, just a point of clarification.
Would you like to comment already? Or
Are
would you
we-
like to hear first all the resource persons?
We can wait.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
May we call now to deliver their comment or manifestation to the bills on the creation of JustCom or JCCJSR? The Ombudsman. Do we have the Ombudsman? You're recognized.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Justice Committee, and other honorable representatives, colleagues. We would like to respectfully manifest that we submitted our position paper last March 18, and salient points of our position papers I will just read. We express support for the measure, Your Honor. However, we would like to recommend or suggest that there should be incorporated in the measures clarifications and safeguards such as number 1, explicitly safeguard the independence of constitutionally created bodies such as the Office of the Ombudsman. Number 2, clearly define the limits of access to fact-finding investigation, prosecutorial records, and internal records of the Office of the Ombudsman. Number 3, affirm the autonomy of the office in the promulgation and administration of its internal rules of procedures, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. So you support the bill, except that safeguards must be in place on the functions inherent, power inherent to the Ombudsman.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now let's hear from the Office of the Court Administrator, the Supreme Court. The OCA of the Supreme Court sent an excuse letter. May we hear from the DBM? Department of Budget and Management.
Madam Chair.
Yes, you're recognized. Please proceed.
Good morning. I am here to represent the DBM regarding the transfer of provincial jails to the BGM.
Oh.
My
COMSEC, may
apologies.
we know from our records if we sent the necessary notice to the DBM regarding the necessary position paper on the bills on the creation of this JustCom?
Madam Chair, we sent the proper notices to the concerned government agencies to inviting them as resource persons for today's meeting.
DBM, may we direct the DBM to make the necessary position paper as well with respect to the creation of this Justice Commission.
Madam Chair, I will relay the discussions to the concerned bureau.
Would you know if the notice of the committee was sent to the proper focal person in the DBM?
No, Madam Chair.
Can you check it for us?
Okay.
Maybe you can advise our committee secretariat as to the proper party
Yes, Madam
to where to send the notice regarding these bills.
Chair. Yes, ma'am.
After the DBM, may we hear from the Integrated Bar of the Philippines? Do we have the IBP here? Were we able to send notice to the IBP?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Next is the Public Attorney's Office. Do we have the PAO?
Madam Chair, the Public Attorney's Office also sent excuse letter, but they have a position paper stating that they have no objection to the creation of the JustCom.
I just want to state for the record that this agency should be attending our committee hearing, no? Hindi naman siguro kayo nag-iisa doon. So you can send other officials to attend the committee hearing, and perhaps once you send an official, he should be the same official who should attend for the rest of the hearing on the same bill in order to avoid the situation of the NBI that he's not very much aware about the requirement of the certification, no? So, again, this is our duty under the Constitution. All of us must be attending the committee hearing. And these agencies, I understand, have a lot of officials and employees. They can send someone else if whoever is the focal for that particular day will not be available. Just make sure that you brief properly whoever you will be sending so that he will be aware of the matters which are being discussed before the Justice Committee, no? So, can we send a strongly worded notice to the agencies to make sure that they are available in the next hearing and to make sure that they submit on time the required position papers? Now let us call the Commission on Human Rights. Do we have the CHR here?
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair.
You're recognized. You may proceed.
Good morning, Madam Chair, to all the honorable members of the Committee on Justice. Madam Chair, we will submit our position paper. We just received the letter invitation last April, last week or 2 weeks ago. But we will submit our position paper, and then we have an initial recommendation.
Yes.
One of which is for the commission, Joint Congressional Commission, to require CHR representation in the commission's consultative or technical processes.
We will hear from the author later.
Yes.
Their comment to the recommendations of the resource persons.
Yes, and then we will submit our formal position paper, Madam Chair, from the commission.
Hopefully when?
We can draft the position paper, but it's up to the commission with the.
Hopefully before the next hearing.
Yes, Madam Chair.
So that if we hold a hearing next week, that position paper should be available as well.
Yeah. I'll try, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's hear from the Bureau of Correction, Bucor. The Bucor.
Good morning, Madam Chair and honorable members of the committee. The Bureau of Corrections has already submitted our position paper, but allow me to read
the salient parts.
Salient parts of the position paper. The Bureau of Corrections welcomes new development and promote effective justice system, strengthen public trust, and uphold integrity and efficiency of its institution. Thus, we strongly support the enactment of the proposed bills. Madam Chair.
All right. Comsec, please receive the position paper of the Bureau of Corrections. Next is the BJMP, Director Rivera.
Okay, Madam Chair and members of this committee, I'm Director Rivera, the Chief of the BJMP, and I would like to manifest that the 27,000 strong men and women of the BJMP fully support these bills number 7635, 7305, and I think and sure that these bills will address and alleviate the congestion problem in our jails. And I will submit our position paper after this hearing, Madam Chair. Thank you very much.
You have with you already, Director, your position paper?
I will sign it today, Madam Chair.
You will just sign it,
Yes.
okay. We want to express our commendation to Director Rivera for always attending personally the committee hearings, notwithstanding the fact that as head of the BJMP, he needs to address huge amount of work and responsibility in his office. Now let's hear from the PNP, Philippine National Police. Do you have a position paper already?
We will submit it within the day.
Okay. You may proceed. What's the position of the PNP?
Madam Chair, good morning. So I am Police Lieutenant Colonel Jerome Brian Sanyano, the Assistant Chief of Crime Research and Analysis Center of DIDM PNP. So the Philippine National Police reaffirms its unwavering commitment to support this committee in its noble objectives of promoting justice, accountability, and the rule of law. Thus, we strongly support the enactment of House Bills number 7305 and 7635, Madam Chair.
Okay, so we expect also the submission of your position paper today.
Yes, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
Last is the Philippine Institute for Development Studies.
Good morning, Madam Chair and members of this committee. The position or the comments paper is currently being signed by the PIDS president, and it will be transmitted within the day. But allow me to give you a summary of the comments that I prepared. First, these bills are laudable, and we strongly support this because this is supported by institutional economics. The causal chain that's involved is well supported, because when justice systems become more credible and predictable, thereby boosting rule of law credibility, transactions costs decrease, contract enforcement risk declines, property rights become more secure, informal risk premia fall, and firms become more willing to enter into long-term contracts. So you can imagine the effect on investments, including foreign direct investments. And then we also have three recommendations. First is on the adoption of the 5 pillars of justice as a framework. Second, the inclusion of geographic inequities. We support your formulation on addressing vulnerable sectors of the society, but we also hope that you could also, and we proposed additional provisions to support this inclusion of geographic inequities. What's the reason for this? What are the possible implications of this additional coverage? Having case-weighted distribution of justice across regional and municipal trial courts. Then uncovering issues in the justice system in the Mindanao region, such as the BARM, and advancing the harmonization of Sharia law with existing Philippine laws. And then thirdly, it's about the additional mandate that you are giving to us. Additional research mandate must also be given additional mandated budget. And napasok na po kasi kami in our experience with the EDCOM, Educational Commission. So we hope that you will also give that support through legislation, perhaps by adding a provision in the harmonized and substitute bill, effectively stating this additional function of the PIDS shall be considered in mandating through the General Appropriations Act the direct transfer of research funds to and extending the budget ceiling of the institute. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Philippine Institute for Development Studies. I hope we can submit also the position paper today. Now we are opening the floor to to the members of the Justice Committee for questions to the resource persons. But before we call the Justice members, we would like to give back the floor to the author of the JustCom bill, the Honorable Chel Jokno, to comment on the manifestations made by the resource persons. Honorable Jokno.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I would like to thank all the resource persons who have submitted their position papers or who have committed to submit their position papers within the day. I am also thankful that most of you have either provided a strong or full support or qualified support to the two bills that call for a JustCom. I do have, Madam Chair, a few questions for some of the resource persons, if I may be allowed to address that now or later.
Yes, you may proceed.
First to the Department of Justice. Good morning po. My first question, earlier you mentioned that you have some reservations with respect to sections 4, 6, and 9 of the both House bills. Clarification lang po, because I think the two bills are not numbered exactly the same. I would like to refer first to House Bill 7305 and ask the representative of the DOJ what in particular in sections 4, 6, and 9 they have reservations to.
DOJ?
Yes. Madam Chair, please allow me to read the reservation of the Department of Justice on the composition and compensation provision of the both bills. First, sections 4, 6, and 9 of HBN number 7305, and sections 4, 6, 7, and 10 HBN 7635. So these provisions have similar. These sections have similar provisions, Your Honor. Please allow me to read the particular discussion on these sections. The designation of incumbent members of Congress, particularly the chairpersons of the Senate and House Committees on Justice, as members and co-chairpersons of the Commission raises constitutional issues. Although participation may be in aid of legislation, the Commission's investigative and policy development functions exceed ordinary committee work, effectively creating a quasi-independent body. Section 4 attempts to avoid violating Article 9B, Section 8 of the 1987 Constitution, which prohibits additional, double, or indirect compensation unless specifically authorized by law. However, reimbursable expenses or allowances, if fixed, recurring, or exceeding actual cost, may constitute indirect compensation, Your Honor. The Supreme Court has repeatedly affirmed that public officers cannot avail themselves of devious or circuitous means to increase the remuneration attached to their position. In Development Bank of the Philippines versus Commission on Audit, the SC affirmed that the constitutional prohibition against additional, double, or indirect compensation under Article 9B, Section 8 applies even when benefits are characterized as allowances, reimbursements, or other forms of indirect remuneration. The SC held that the corporate resolutions or administrative approvals alone do not constitute lawful authority to grant such benefits. This ruling underscored that substance prevails over form. Compensation labeled as expenses, allowances, or reimbursements may still constitute prohibited indirect compensation if effectively increases a public officer's remuneration. By analogy, Section 4's provision, both HBNs, Section 4 of both bills, provision allowing travel, communications, and other expenses as may be allowed by law may be constitutionally suspect if such benefits become fixed, recurring, or exceed actual cost. The DBP case reinforces the principle that any government arrangement that results in additional, indirect, or constructive compensation, whether direct or through institutional support mechanisms, must be expressly authorized and strictly limited by law. A central concern is evaluating the proposed JustCom's compensation and structure. This is the proposal of the department, Madam Chair. Section 6 establishes a fully compensated technical secretariat headed by an executive director at salary grade 29 and supported by high-level staff na-close siya. While legislators remain uncompensated, directing a fully funded bureaucracy effectively augments their institutional capacity through indirect benefits. This two-tier structure with unpaid principals and a paid apparatus performing substantive work may constitute constructive compensation and institutional expansion beyond the legislative sphere. Further, membership in a separate statutory body raises serious constitutional concerns because it risks holding multiple offices and performing functions that extend beyond the scope of legislative duties. When legislators serve simultaneously as members or co-chairpersons of a commission with quasi-independent investigative and policy development authority, their role may be construed as exercising powers or responsibilities typically reserved for a separate branch of government or public office. Such dual capacity threatens the constitutional principle of separation of powers, as it blurs the boundaries between legislative functions and administrative or quasi-executive authority. The risk is particularly acute if the statutory body has decision-making oversight, or resource control functions that enable legislator to influence or direct activities outside their ordinary lawmaking role. Courts have consistently emphasized that the legislature cannot directly or indirectly assume administrative or supervisory powers over other branches without violating constitutional mandates. By participating in a body that operates independently of regular legislative committees, legislators may inadvertently hold a second office or exercise functions not properly within the legislative domain, raising both legal and institutional vulnerabilities, including potential challenges under Article 9B, Section 8 on double compensation and broader separation of powers doctrine. On Section 9, Section 9 embeds Section 9 of both bills. Section 9 embeds continuous funding for the Commission and Secretariat within legislative appropriations and the General Appropriations Act. Continuous disbursement of public funds to support legislators' direction of a compensated entity reinforces the risk that the Commission functions as a separate, state-funded body. This raises potential constitutional challenges under the prohibitions on double compensation, unauthorized emoluments, and separation of powers, as well as concerns on fiscal accountability. Together, Sections 4, 6, and 9 create a structure where legislators operate in a body arguably distinct from Congress, direct a fully compensated secretariat, and control continuously appropriated resources. This framework is constitutionally vulnerable on multiple fronts: indirect compensation, unauthorized emoluments, duplication of legislative functions, and blurred institutional boundaries. To address this risk, the measure should anchor the Secretariat within existing legislative support services rather than as a standalone entity, limit the Secretariat's role to strictly ministerial and supportive functions without independent policy authority, and cap reimbursable expenses with clear documentation standards, and ensure compliance with appropriations, accounting, and auditing rules to prevent indirect compensation to legislators. That's all.
Thank you, Madam
Madam
Chair. If
Chair.
I may continue my
Honorable
interpellation.
Jokno, perhaps in order to save the time of the committee, no, we are directing the COMSEC to provide copy of the position papers of the resource persons to the authors, so that on the next hearing they will be ready to address the comments which were not addressed in the bill, because there's a possibility some of the observations have been addressed already in the bill. The Honorable Jokno is again recognized.
Thank you for your inputs, Madam. But to be honest, I'm surprised at the extent of the objections being made or reservations, because the bills that we filed on JustCom are actually patterned after the EDCOM 2. And I don't know of any challenges, similar challenges that have been made by the Department of Justice or even any other agency to EDCOM 2. So if could you kindly please address either in the position paper you will be submitting or in a separate memorandum or brief, why you think that your reservations, why you think they are a big concern here when these are almost exactly the same as those found in the law that created the Educational Commission. I understand that when it comes to justice, we are talking about some independent constitutional bodies, and we will and we have taken into consideration, for example, the independence of the Office of the Ombudsman. We know we cannot intrude into the or supervise or control the Office of the Ombudsman, especially since you have a law already and Republic Act 6770, and there are specific constitutional provisions that govern you. But insofar as other parts of the pillars of the justice system are concerned, I really don't think that those kinds of objections or reservations would apply. So, paki-address na lang po sa inyong position paper, Department of
Just a quick
Justice.
answer lang po, Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
Before we drafted the also this representation also attend EDCOM meetings for the department, and lahat ata ng oversight committees ng kinumpare namin, halos similar provisions po silang lahat. Kaya lang po ang pagkakaiba po nito sa sa ibang congressional committees na na-create natin ay yung provisions on yung review, assess, at saka yung mga certain provisions na pwedeng mapasok doon. We will just address the query, Madam Chair, sa aming position paper, specific provisions.
Yes, it's important that you are able to identify specifically the issues that you found in the proposed bill so that the authors can address it as well. Okay. The Honorable Jokno?
If I may, Madam Chair, just a few questions to the representative of the Office of the Ombudsman. Magandang umaga po.
Magandang umaga, Your Honor.
Again, as I said, we are aware and we do not want to intrude into the constitutional powers of the Office of the Ombudsman. We understand your concern about us being supervising or in any way intervening in your administrative processes. However, just a brief question. I'd like to, for example, refer to some proposed amendments that were mentioned by Senator Lacson during the investigation into the flood control projects, where he said, for example, that he would like to amend Republic Act 6770 to expand investigative powers of the Office of the Ombudsman, grant fiscal autonomy or strengthen fiscal autonomy, institutionalize whistleblower protection. And in my case, in my experience as a practitioner, perhaps institutionalize perpetuation of testimony for witnesses in danger so that they don't have to wait years before they testify in court for the trial, and as well strengthen or create a witness protection program that is designed for the Office of the Ombudsman. Sa inyong palagay, itong mga bagay na ito na mga proposed amendments, would that intrude into the constitutional independence of the Office of the Ombudsman?
Ombudsman?
Your Honor, thank you, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. In fact, it will support our mandate, Your Honor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Those are the only questions.
So that
I
means that the Ombudsman has no concerns anymore concerning the Justice Commission bill. So we will be hearing more from the resource persons. I just want to advise the committee that we have a lot of agenda. Next to this will be the BJMP. And next to that will be the creation of the court. The last will be Mr. Michael Butler. And we're supposed to finish at 12 noon because other committees will be using the room. So with the indulgence of the justice members, perhaps I will be calling the Honorable Laila de Lima before we conclude on our first deliberation of this Justice Commission, but we will be continuing our deliberation on this on our next hearing. Do you have some questions, Honorable de Lima?
No question, Madam Chair. I just wish to manifest for the record that I concur completely with the points raised, the comments made by Representative Chel Jokno. And honestly, also, I'm surprised about the lengthy objections from the Department of Justice. My impression, in fact, is that it's trying to encroach also on our legislative prerogative of creating bodies like this.
They are afraid of our encroachment in the executive.
But then again, because again, part of the one of the mandates of the powers of the proposed commission is to recommend the appropriate and necessary legislative measures, executive action, and administrative reforms to improve the rules of procedure, expedite judicial processes, strengthen public accountability, and enhance the overall efficiency of the criminal justice system. Now, these bills do not at all attempt to also encroach, diminish, or dilute any of the mandates already under existing laws of the justice sector agencies, including the DOJ and the Ombudsman. So I don't see any basis for any apprehension that we would be encroaching or intruding and diminishing the respective powers and mandates, especially if those powers and mandate flow from the Constitution. That is not at all our intention here. We have to examine, scrutinize thoroughly the bottlenecks, the deficiencies in our justice system to be able to come up with a comprehensive legal framework to address all of those. We can assure the resource persons here, especially from my previous department, the Department of Justice. No basis for those apprehensions. Thank you.
We heard assurance from the former Justice Secretary, the Honorable Dilema. That concludes with the indulgence of the justice members. Wala bang objection? That concludes our first deliberation on the creation of Justice Committee. We will now proceed to our next agenda. But before we proceed to that, may I direct all the resource persons to submit promptly all your position papers so that copies of which may be provided to all the justice members so we can discuss really the issues raised on our next hearing. The justice members, most especially the authors, need to be very well informed of the issues raised in your position paper. If you do not submit promptly, then we will not be able to address the issues that you're raising in as far as the creation of Justice Commission is concerned.
Madam Chair, just a manifestation, I will be requesting and submitting to the COMSEC one or two additional resource persons for our next hearing, if I may. Thank you.
We note the manifestation and the request of the Honorable Chel Jokno. Now we proceed to the next item in our agenda. But before we proceed to that, let me acknowledge first the Honorable Franz Vincent F. Legaspi from Pinoy Workers' Party List, as well as the Honorable Crispin Diego D. Remulla, our Deputy Majority Leader. The next item in our agenda involve the bills proposing the transfer of jurisdiction of provincial and sub-provincial jails to the BJMP. The Chair recognizes the authors of the measures to deliver their respective sponsorship speeches. To start with, may we call the Honorable Francisco Lalo T. Matugas to sponsor House Bill number.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would like to read my sponsorship on House Bill number 1541. It is the duty of the state to ensure a justice system that is fair, effective, and accessible. In this regard, the proper management of correctional and detention facilities plays a crucial role in safeguarding the rights and welfare of the people deprived of liberty and in upholding the rule of law. Currently, provincial jails fall under the jurisdiction of local government units, specifically the provincial governments. While this arrangement aligns with the policy of local autonomy, it has also led to a range of challenges and inconsistencies in the management of detention facilities across the country. These include disparities in the quality of jail facilities, uneven implementation of policies, lack of trained personnel, inadequate funding, unlimited access to rehabilitation program. Although I admit there are provincial jails with good management and facilities. On the other hand, the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, which supervises city, municipal, and district jail, has developed a standardized system for jail operations, staff training, inmate welfare and development, and security procedures. Transferring jurisdiction of provincial jails to BGMP would ensure a more professional, uniform, and accountable jail management systems nationwide. This bill seeks to centralize the management of all provincial jails under BGMP. Doing so will enhance operational efficiency, ensure better living conditions for PDLs, and promote the delivery of rehabilitation and reintegration programs. It will also relieve provincial governments of the financial and administrative burden of managing jails, allowing them to focus on other essential services. This bill, when your truly was a member of the 15th and 16th Congresses, I also filed the same bill. And during the term of the former Congressman Bingo Matugas, during the 17th, 18th, and 19th Congresses, the same bill has also been filed. In support of the penal reforms and in the interest of justice, human rights, and good governance, I move that this passage of this bill be given by this committee. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Matugas. Now we recognize the Honorable Representative Richard I. Gomez to sponsor House Bill number 2188.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. I rise today to sponsor House Bill number 2188, a measure that seeks to bring unity, consistency, and necessary reform to our nation's jail system. At present, the BJMP exercises supervision and control only over cities, municipalities, and district jails under Republic Act number 6975. Provincial and sub-provincial jails, on the other hand, remain under the management of their respective provincial governments. This divided structure has resulted in a fragmented system, one where the quality of jail administration and rehabilitation services vary significantly depending on where a detainee or inmate happens to be held. House Bill 2188 seeks to unify the management of all levels of jails in the country by transferring the management, supervision, and control of all provincial and sub-provincial jails to the BJMP. And by doing so, we create a single, integrated command structure for all categories of jails in the country, allowing for the standardization of policies, procedures, and administration across the board. Why is this important? The problem of congestion in our jails all over the country is hardly news anymore. As of 2025, over 87% of PDLs, or persons deprived of liberty, nationwide are still awaiting trial, meaning they have not been convicted yet. And this created a double-edged problem. Firstly, the sheer number of those waiting for trial but cannot afford bail has excessively increased the jail populations. Secondly, since they are still presumed innocent, therefore living in such dire conditions only aggravates what is already a humanitarian crisis. This bill, Madam Chair, dear colleagues, is mindful of the practical challenges of transition. It provides for a 3-year transition period during which provincial governments shall continue to subsidize the subsistence allowance of PDLs and the maintenance of jail facilities. It creates a special oversight committee chaired by the Secretary of the DILG, together with the Secretary of the DBM, the BGMP Chief, the Commission on Audit, and the League of Provinces as members, to oversee the orderly transfer of assets, personnel, and functions to the BGMP. Furthermore, Madam Chair, all existing personnel of provincial and sub-provincial jails may be absorbed by the BGMP, ensuring that the men and women who have dedicated their services to these institutions will not be left behind. There were similar bills filed and discussed during previous Congresses, Madam Chair. One of them, our good friend, Congressman Matugas, and other LGUs, and some of them were opposing because one of the effects will be transfer of LGU assets and properties to the BJMP. The Department of Justice then suggested that the LGUs and BJMP sign a memorandum of agreement. So, Madam Chair, it is time that we rectify our local jail system by unifying its control and management of cities, municipalities, districts, provincials, and sub-provincial jails under the BJMP. Daghang kayong salamat ug maayong buntag sa tanan. Thank you.
We note the sponsorship speech of the Honorable Richard Gomez. Now we recognize the Honorable Representative Keith Mika Attorney Mike D.L. Tan to sponsor House Bill number 3091, still on the transfer of provincial jail to the BJMP.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning po sa ating lahat. The Bureau of Jail Management and Penology was created to direct, supervise, and control the administration and operation of all district, city, and municipal jails nationwide with pronged tasks of safekeeping and development of persons deprived of liberty, as provided for under RA number 6975, with the exception of provincial and sub-provincial jails, whose management and control is lodged under their respective provincial governments. As of November 2019, out of 74 provincial jails nationwide, 13 provincial jails have already been turned over to the BJMP in recognition of the BJMP's competence in the management of jails. The initiative is for the purpose of standardizing and providing smooth transition in the management and operation of the jails being turned over to the BJMP. In line with the government's present thrust to unify the country's fragmented jail system, this bill seeks to amend RA 6975 by transferring the supervision and control of provincial and sub-provincial jails, which are currently under the administration and control of their respective provincial governments, to the BJMP. The transfer to the BJMP will facilitate better management of provincial jails under competent and highly trained personnel of the BJMP, thereby maximizing the Bureau's resources for efficient delivery of basic services for our PDLs. Having said that, Madam Chair and Your Honors, I am counting on your support for the approval of this measure. Thank you po.
We know the sponsorship speech of the Honorable Tan. Now we recognize the Honorable Representatives Rufus Rodriguez and Maximo B. Rodriguez Jr. to sponsor House Bill number 7039. This is still on the transfer of provincial jails to the BJMP.
Madam Chair,
the Honorable Tan is recognized. On
behalf of the Representative Maximo Rodriguez and Rufus Rodriguez, I would like to move that the sponsorship of the explanatory note of the House Bill 7039 be made as their sponsorship speech.
There's a motion to adopt the explanatory note in the bill as the sponsorship speech of the author of 7039. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The explanatory note in House Bill 7039 is hereby adopted as the sponsorship speech of the authors. Thank you, Honorable Tan. We've heard the sponsorship speeches of the authors of the similar measures. We will now proceed to hear the manifestation and comment from the resource persons. To start with, since this concerns the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, let's hear first from the head of the BJMP, Director Rivera.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Also to the sponsors of this bill, the members of this committee, as well as other guests present. The BJMP extends its sincere gratitude for the opportunity to participate in this crucial hearing concerning the proposal to transfer the supervision and control of all provincial and sub-provincial jails to the BJMP. The willingness to hear the Jail Bureau stance on this subject demonstrates the committee's commitment to its legislative duty. And as a government agency created under 6975 to exercise supervision of all district, city, and municipal jails nationwide. We have been serving the country for over 35 years, and several governors have reached out to the BGMP to request a takeover of the management of the provincial jail under their jurisdiction. And in fact, since 2008, a total of 15, 11 of which are provincial and 4 are sub-provincial jails have been turned over to our care, the BGMP. And more governors have expressed their intent to integrate those provincial and sub-provincial jails into the BGMP. Their conformity is rooted in the recognition of a need to establish a national standard in the operational management of all local jails nationwide, and that the integration of provincial and sub-provincial jails into the BGMP will really assist all relevant parties. In closing, the passage of this bill is aligned with the national goals, such as A, the Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028, specifically Chapter 13.2, Outcome Number 3, and I quote, improving the quality of life of PDL, improve and ensuring the productive reintegration of persons deprived of liberty into the community, specifically in establishing a unified penology and correction system. And second, the ambition natin 2040 as regards to the modernization and capacity building of the DILG alongside with the PNP and the BGMP. May I respectfully request to be allowed also our IBP, Madam Chair, this is just a 4-minute audiovisual presentation with your
Yes,
permission.
I'm also interested to know the data as to the number of LGUs which have turned over already their provincial and sub-provincial jail facility.
There are
And
15,
then
Madam Chair.
how many?
15, Your Honor.
15. And how many are still with the LGUs?
On my record, says 60 provincial jail, Your Honor. But
So it's a total of 75 provincial and sub-provincial jail facility. And 15 out of 75 were turned over already to the BJMP. Is that correct, Director?
yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. So concerning your presentation, you may proceed. Do you have
Yeah, please,
visuals?
ABP, please, yes.
Yes.
Madam Chair.
To the
Secretariat,
Honorable
please play.
Chairperson of the House Committee on Justice, Congresswoman Gerville Luistro, and the distinguished members of the committee, good morning. The current jail management system in the Philippines remains divided. While the BJMP oversees district, city, and municipal jails, provincial governments operate their own facilities. This dual structure has resulted in uneven operational standards, inconsistent security practices, and varying levels of rehabilitation services across jurisdictions. A unified national approach is therefore necessary to ensure uniformity in custodial care and to strengthen the country's overall jail management system. Explicitly supported under the Philippine Development Plan 2023-2028 of the Department of Economy, Planning, and Development, this initiative aligns with Outcome 3, which seeks to improve the quality of life of persons deprived of liberty and ensure their productive reintegration into the community. It identifies the establishment of a unified penology and correction system as a key strategy in achieving this objective. Thus, this initiative reinforces the PDP's goal of promoting a more humane, efficient, and responsive correction system that supports the successful reintegration of PDLs into society. The BJMP has consistently demonstrated its institutional capability to administer jails in a professional and humane manner. Its rehabilitation programs, benefiting 116,928 persons deprived of liberty, provide educational, livelihood, spiritual, and therapeutic interventions aligned with the Nelson Mandela rules. These initiatives reflect the Bureau's long-term commitment not only to custodial security but also to preparing PDLs for eventual reintegration into society. Another key strength of the BJMP is its trained and professional core of 26,839 personnel. Through continuous capacity building, competency upgrading, and leadership development, BJMP personnel maintain high standards of discipline, integrity, and operational competence. These institutional advantages cannot be fully duplicated by individual provincial governments, whose capacities and resources differ widely. At present, the BJMP manages 488 jail facilities nationwide, operating under a unified set of policies and procedures. Extending this standardized system to provincial jails will resolve long-standing disparities in custodial practices and improve the welfare and security of PDLs across the country. A Senate hearing was held on April 15, 2026, by the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, highlighting the ongoing importance of unifying local jail administration. The proposed measure transfers the management, control, and supervision of provincial and sub-provincial jails to the BJMP, including their property, equipment, and finances, while retaining ownership of land and buildings with the provincial governments. Personnel of provincial jails will retain security of tenure and will be absorbed by the BJMP in accordance with the qualification standards of Republic Act No. 9263. To ensure an orderly shift, the measure provides for a 3-year transition period. During this time, provincial governments will continue funding the subsistence of PDLs and facility maintenance, until such time as the BJMP assumes full supervision and operational responsibility. We also acknowledge the support of several local chief executives. Their endorsements reflect a shared understanding that jail management requires specialized expertise, standardized systems, and professionalized service, attributes inherent in the BJMP. In closing, this measure represents a necessary step toward a professional, humane, and unified jail management system that strengthens national security, advances human rights, and aligns the country with global correctional standards. We respectfully seek the favorable consideration of this honorable committee. Thank you.
Director Rivera, does that conclude your manifestation?
Yeah, that concludes our presentation, Madam Chair.
Thank you for the well-prepared video presentation. That forms part of the records of the proceeding of this committee in as far as our hearing on the transfer of provincial and sub-provincial jail facility to the BJMP is concerned. Considering that we have very limited time already, may I just know from the resource persons whether or not you have the position papers with you already concerning the transfer of jail facility bill? Can we hear first from the DOJ?
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Do you have the position paper?
I believe we already sent position paper last time.
Submitted already.
Yes,
Thank
Your
you. DILG?
Ma'am, good morning, ma'am. The position paper of the DALG is still with the legal, but we will submit it today, Madam Chair.
Today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. It is important really that these position papers must be in the hand of the authors and the justice members at least 3 days before the hearing, so that we can effectively address the issues which are raised in the position paper. Thank you, DILG. DBM?
Yes, ma'am. The DBM already submitted its position paper on the similar legislative measures dated
Submitted?
March 10, 2021. However, we will submit an update on this.
You will be submitting a supplemental to your position paper. Thank you, DBM. Civil Service Commission?
Good morning, Madam Chair.
May we just know whether the position paper was submitted already?
Good morning, Madam Chair.
Where?
The draft has already been prepared. We will submit one side by the chairperson.
When is this possible?
1 week, 2 weeks, ma'am.
1 week, 2 weeks. We intend to continue the deliberation on the BJMP on May 20. And we hope to have it at least before the hearing so that the justice members, most especially the authors, would have time to read and study the issues raised in your position paper. Can you commit to submit it at least 3 days before May 20?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. League of Provinces of the Philippines. Do we have a representative? None? Okay, let us place on the record that they submitted their position paper already, as well as an excuse letter. Next is the Bureau of Corrections.
Morning again, Madam Chair and honorable members of this committee. We already submitted our position paper, Madam Chair.
Thank you. The Commission on Human Rights. CHR?
Yes. Good morning, Madam Chair. We will submit our position paper before May 20, ma'am.
Before May 20.
3 days before.
For those who submitted already, thank you. We commend your prompt submission. For Civil Service Commission and the CHR, we expect your submission 3 days before our next hearing, next deliberation on the BJMP bills. That is 3 days before May 20.
Yes, Madam Chair. Thank you.
That's the CHR. How about the Civil Service Commission? 3 days before May 20.
Yes, Ma'am Chair.
All right. So I have announced already that the continuation of this deliberation will be on May 20. So I hope that you will be securing this date for all the resource persons who are present today. We will be continuing our deliberation. Interpellations will happen on May 20. That is because of the limited time that we have. We need to finish our hearing before 12 noon. Nevertheless, that concludes our first deliberation on the BJMP bills. We will now proceed to the next item in our agenda. Thank you to all the authors. The next item in our agenda, initial consideration of a naturalization bill filed by the Honorable Saldi Jekoy S. Villa. This is on the naturalization of Michael Butler.
Good morning, Madam Chair. This representation expressed my full support on House Bill number 3371, titled An Act Granting Philippine Citizenship to Michael John Butler. This bill seeks to grant Philippine citizenship to Michael John Butler, whose long-standing association with the Philippines and meaningful contributions to the Philippine society, including effort that support and promote the country's tourism, particularly in the province of Siquijor, demonstrate his genuine desire to become a Filipino citizen, since he resides in Siquijor since 1988. So I hope and I pray, Madam Chair, I respectfully request that my explanatory note be adopted as my sponsorship speech. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. We understand that we sent notice also to the resource persons on the naturalization bill of Michael Butler. So let us hear now from the resource persons. May we call first the Department of Justice? You can use the nearest working microphone.
Good morning again, Your Honor. As discussed earlier, we have already prepared our position paper for the naturalization bill for also for Mr. Michael Butler. We are just waiting, Your Honor, for it to be signed by our principals. But, Your Honor, we recognize the legislative's policy objective behind this measure, and that these measures are intended to recognize the extensive and sustained contribution of Mr. Michael John Butler. Your Honor, please allow me to make some manifestation about the proposed bill.
Yes, please. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Madam Chair, while the department recognizes the importance of this bill and that this enactment demonstrate the continuing exercise of Congress of its prerogative to determine which foreign national may acquire Philippine citizenship, the department respectfully emphasizes that citizenship, whether sought through the courts or conferred by legislative fiat, remains a matter impressed with public interest. So while consistent with the state policy of recognizing individuals whose expertise and investment significantly advance the national development agenda, the department, subject to the submission, Your Honor, of our formal position paper, would just like to make some manifestation. First, Your Honor, as to the renunciation of foreign citizenship. We noticed from the bill that it was not expressly stated, so we would like to seek clarification on whether this will be included in the oath of allegiance that the grantee will execute. And then, Your Honor, next is we would like to suggest that for reasons of national security and integrity of the process, we recommend that the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency be requested to undertake a verification and validation of the identity, background, and other personal circumstance of Mr. Butler. Thank you, Your Honor.
I just want to bring to the attention of the DOJ the earlier position of the DFA when we were deliberating on Guillaume, Lucci, and Andres Soriano, that it is not necessary to require the foreign national the renunciation of the foreign citizenship. Or, to be more accurate, the foreign citizenship may be retained. That's the position, even upon the grant of the naturalization in the Philippines. So, are you maintaining a position that foreign citizenship needs to be renounced? Because I'm afraid that the position of the DOJ will be contradictory to the position manifested by the DFA earlier.
Your Honor, I believe the renunciation of foreign citizenship is part of the naturalization process under administrative and judicial.
But not for
Yes, Your Honor.
legislative
We
naturalization.
understand, Your Honor. That's why we would like to, earlier we would like to seek the clarification of this body, Your Honor. But it is our position, Your Honor, that it was, that renunciation is required because of the oath of allegiance, Your Honor, that will be executed.
So are you confirming that your position is only with respect to judicial and administrative naturalization and does not include the congressional
Your Honor.
naturalization?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because if so, then your position is not contradictory to the position of the DFA. Do you confirm that? Do you confirm?
Your Honor, we will be, I will be including it in the position paper, but I will have to check also if we need to, about our position that it should also be included in the legislative enactment or a legislative grant of Philippine citizenship.
Can you state for the record if the oath of allegiance in naturalization cases includes the renunciation of
Yes,
foreign?
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
All right.
It is included. So that's why we are.
So there the issue arises.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So kindly address that in your position paper. When are you going to submit your position paper concerning Michael Butler's
Actually, Your
naturalization?
Honor, it's already under review. I have already submitted it to our principals, but hopefully within the week, Your Honor.
To be consistent, can you commit to submit that at least 3 days before the next hearing. That will
Yes,
be
Your
May
Honor.
20.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mas maigsi yung sinabi mo 1 week.
Actually, because it's already, yes, Your Honor. We will
Anyway.
commit to submit the position
We
paper.
note the commitment of the DOJ. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is the Department of Foreign Affairs, DFA, please.
Madam Chair, honorable members of the Committee on Justice, good morning once again. As for the case of Mr. Butler, the Philippine Embassy in Canberra, Australia reported that upon its consultation with the Australian Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, or DFAT, the DFAT regretfully informed the DFA that it is precluded from providing further information about Mr. Butler as they cited their own privacy laws, specifically the Privacy Act of Australia of 1988 and the Australian Privacy Principles. So that is our update. But we will submit, Your Honor, the certification that the department undertook contacting the DFAT in Australia, Your Honor.
May we know your position on the application for naturalization?
Your Honor, as mentioned also as in the case of Mr. Soriano and Mr. Lucci earlier, the Department of Foreign Affairs, we maintain our view that the renunciation of citizenship of one's country of origin is required only in judicial naturalization under Commonwealth Act number 473 or the administrative naturalization under Republic Act number 9139. As for legislative naturalization, the department defers to the HOR.
Okay, so I understand the data privacy concern of the Australian government. Nevertheless, may we know whether you support or oppose the application for naturalization of Michael Butler?
Your Honor, as regards to Your Honor, we defer to the House, Your Honor, as to the decision as to the grant of legislative naturalization to Mr. Butler.
Okay, we note that. Thank you, DFA. Next is the OSG. OSG is not present. The NBI. Do we have the NBI here?
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, as per our record, we found a derogatory record under the name Michael Butler.
You found.
Yes, Your Honor.
May we hear? What is the derogatory record all about?
Illegal possession of firearm, Your Honor.
May we know the status of that case?
Oh my God.
Can we please first be accurate about the identity of Michael Butler? May we hear the date of birth of the Michael Butler described in the data that you're holding, NBI? What's the date of birth?
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, you're recognized.
Madam Chair, based on our available records, we cannot confirm or ascertain whether the Michael Butler on our records is the same applicant for
Does
the
it have a picture?
We don't have a picture.
Does it have a thumbprint?
This came from a police station report, Madam Chair, from
Alright.
Tubod, San Juan, Siquijor. The same, I just heard a while ago that Mr. Michael John Butler is also from Siquijor. Yes. So may we be given time to verify
It's
this?
from a police station in
The
Siquijor.
record, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Madam Chair.
And
this
from
record-
trial court also?
No.
No,
Only
just
from
a police
police
station. Because if they did not file a case, then he has no records in the court.
Yes, Madam
Tama
Chair,
ba?
but we have in our record.
Does it mention whether a case was filed in the court?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. So, Honorable Villa, may we direct the
Madam
applicant
Chair,
to produce the
can we
necessary
have the copy
clearance?
of that?
Yes.
I don't think so.
But to
That
clear,
happened in our province. He's a good man.
This happened around 1989, Madam Chair.
Impossible.
we are not yet saying, Honorable Villa, that
Oo.
that Mr. Butler is disqualified from this naturalization, but to remove the impression of disqualification caused by the report of the NBI, which was forwarded by the PNP. may we direct the applicant, Honorable Villa, to produce the necessary clearance from the PNP Siquijor as well as the Regional Trial Court of Siquijor?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll do that. Can we have also a copy of your...
Yes, yes. I would say that we need to provide them a copy of that so they will be guided where the record came from.
Copy, Madam Chair.
So they can secure the necessary clearance if indeed there's no such thing as illegal possession case.
Yes, Madam Chair, but may I emphasize that this record belongs to a person named Michael Butler. We cannot ascertain, again, if this record belongs to the applicant.
Nevertheless, they need to be guided
Oh, yes, Madam Chair.
to be able to clear.
Okay, Madam.
Madam Chair,
We will-
is
we will-
that
Honorable Villa.
notarized?
Notarize, sir?
Yes.
No. No, Madam Chair.
Honorable Villa, since that is a report of the NBI, pursuant to the presumption of regularity of performance of official function, we somehow give credence to that report and we are giving ample opportunity to Mr. Butler to provide the necessary clearance. Kayang-kaya mo naman yun, Kong. You just need to seek clearance from the RTC, OCC, right? Office of the Clerk of Court of the Regional Trial Court of Siquijor,
And
to make sure that he has no case pending there, as well as clearance from PNP Siquijor. NBI?
Yes, ma'am. Tubod Police Station, San Juan Siquijor, particularly.
Do you know that? Tubod Police Station, San Juan Siquijor.
Yes.
Okay.
I think there's no police station in Tubod. We have only one police station in the municipality of San Juan.
Baka may kaaway si Mr. Butler. Saan ba nanggaling yung report na
Hindi,
yan?
kaya nga...
Because from your record, he was able to submit an NBI clearance which shows no criminal record or pending case against him.
Actually, parang bago ito. Bago ito. Kasi, alam mo naman, may kalaban tayo sa politika. At saka, and I want to be clear that I want to change our RTC judge in Siquijor.
With all due respect, Honorable Villa, but I just want to state for the record that this is not about politics.
Yeah.
We have rules that guides us in our
I just
naturalization.
say something because this is ito ginawa sa kalaban namin. Itong although anyway my son is the governor now, in which we exchange. I was
Tapos anong sabi dito? Clear.
3-term governor in Siquijor, then become a congressman. My son was the former congressman, then become a governor now. But how come? How come? We know everything there in Siquijor. We know everything there in Siquijor. Who is the good man? Who is the bad man? And I hope, kailangan namin yung kuan report. Kailan yun?
We will provide, Honorable Villa.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, NBI, no? How did you get that report? Because I have here an NBI clearance with photo of Mr. Butler. Malabo nga lang yung copy, but it says no derogatory record. It says no derogatory record.
May I
So
know,
yeah.
Miss-
We'll be sharing
Madam-
this with you.
Okay, ma'am. So that we can also verify the
Yeah.
authenticity
But may
of
we
the-
know also how you get that report?
This derogatory record, we conducted a record check with the master name index division.
That's with the NBI
With
records.
the NBI records,
Okay.
Madam Chair. So this is the result of the
Yeah.
record check.
And they are saying that there is no police station in Tubod.
Please visit
May-
our beautiful province. Please.
I wish to place on record also that Mr. Michael Butler secured a national police clearance, which says No record on file. We will be providing both copies of this
Okay, ma'am, Madam Chair.
with the permission of Mr. Butler. Just for them to be able to
Cross-check and verify.
cross-check where these reports are coming from. And perhaps you should penalize if that report is not correct.
Again, Madam Chair, this is the derogatory record is attached to the name Michael Butler. We are not saying
If he is the same
if he's the same
Michael Butler.
If he's the same Michael Butler on our records.
How do we know if your record does not provide for other proof of identity, like the date of birth, the age?
Usually, Madam Chair, we require the applicant for NBI clearance to execute an affidavit of denial.
So can he do that? Considering that he was able to produce the police clearance and the NBI record, subject of course to your examination first of these
Yes, ma'am.
documents.
But since he was able, provided that the NBI clearance is valid and authentic, provided that he was able to secure an NBI clearance, there's a reasonable certainty that he is not the
same Michael Butler.
same Michael Butler here in our.
Perhaps you should include in your database of derogatory records the other pagkakakilanlan, identity of these individuals. Because even if they are able to produce this, if you will be claiming that that is a different Michael Butler, then that record will stay in the record of the NBI.
Yes, ma'am.
And at any time, that will be disclosed and he will be having trouble about that. But if you have other indicators as to the real identity of those individuals, it will be easy for you to rule out this is not Michael Butler. But since you have no other data other than the name, it will cause trouble to the people who have the same name appearing in the record of derogatory records of the NBI. So I wish to go back to my question. How did you came up with that? How did you come up with that report from Tubod Police Station?
It is stated here, Madam Chair.
It is?
It is stated here that
It was reported by Tubod Police Station. Ganun ba yun?
No, ano ma'am? Reported sa police station.
Okay.
Ngayon, illegal possession of firearms.
But who reported that to the NBI? If indeed walang Tubod Police Station, no? Then who reported that to the NBI?
There is a file number here, Madam Chair. We will.
Does it have a date also when the same was reported?
Ano ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
When?
August 21, 1999.
It's a long time ago. Baka nga.
Entry date.
Long time ago, no? Okay, so since we have the best intention naman to hear properly and give due process to Mr. Butler with the indulgence of the NBI, I hope we can share that record to Mr. Butler so they can properly address the derogatory record that appears in your database, no? We will be sharing to you as well the National Police Clearance and the NBI clearance that was submitted by Mr. Butler.
We will comply, Madam
Okay.
Chair.
So just to remove all doubts, all questions, Honorable Villa, perhaps it will be best, after all, your son is the governor. I heard it.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Vice Chair Lagbas is recognized.
Yes. Madam Chair, I wish to ask a few questions to Mr. Michael Butler. Madam Chair, you have the honorable sponsor for this bill stated that you have been in the Philippines since 1988.
Yes, that's correct, yes.
In the entire stint here in the Philippines, has any case been filed against you, any criminal or civil case?
No, not at all.
So to your knowledge, there is no case that is pending against you of
No,
late?
absolutely not.
Before you proceed, Vice Chair Lagbas, May we request Mr. Butler to please stand up? We will be administering your oath. You may sit down. Vice Chair Lagbas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And in your stint here in the Philippines, as I understand, it has been stated here that you have made valuable contributions and philanthropic help for your community. May we have at least 3 specific community involvement that have benefited the people of Siquijor?
Well, there's quite a few actually, but I don't know where to start. When we first came to Siquijor, we thought that we might be able to help the community there, so we built a resort there, and we used local people to do the construction, and we then started employing local people. I taught them the hospitality industry because we were the first resort on Siquijor. That was back in 1988 when we were able to form a corporation. So that's one thing we did for the people in Siquijor. We have now nearly 400 people working with us alongside us, and they're all permanent people, and they're quite happy with us, and we're very happy with them, of course. Other things we've done, I suppose, that have benefited the community, we're always trying to help the community wherever possible. When we had the situation when we had the COVID for the 1.5 years, we're able to keep all our team together, and we're also able to help the community at large by supplying meals every week for the underprivileged people in the mountains, including rice and whatever. We also did some work on Apple Island before it was mandated as a marine park. We're able to help the protection of the environment there. There's many things we feel we've done. My time in the Philippines has been wonderful. We first actually came to the Philippines on the way from Australia to Europe, and we went. It was at the Christmas time, and we went to the local orphanage, and we took some children out to Pagsanam Falls and to the local zoo in Manila, and we decided then that maybe if we were lucky enough, we would be able to adopt 2 children from the Philippines, which we did, and so we were very blessed by the Philippine government and Australian government by allowing us to do so. So pull to the Philippines was also with their family then. So both my daughters are now married, and they're both Philippine Australian citizens. So I have 2 brother-in-laws as well, and 3 grandchildren, all Philippine Australian citizens. I'm the only one in the family now that don't have a Philippine citizenship.
So how many locals are under the employment of your company as of this time?
I'm sorry?
How many locals are under the employment of your company?
Well, everybody, yes.
Do we have a number of how many locals are employed?
I would say 320 on the hospitality industry and 83 people in the construction, all from Siquijor or maybe Dumaguete, and I think we have 3 people from Cebu, but generally everybody from Siquijor.
Are you still open for applications for some more?
I think you might be overqualified, but certainly, yes. We do have some...
We will make recommendations, Mr. Butler,
yes,
to the Honorable Villa. So you have been in business at Siquijor since 1998.
88, yes.
Yeah, 88.
Yes.
You have been there for quite a long time. May we know now, despite having enjoyed all the privileges of having stayed there and established your business, why would you like to acquire Philippine citizenship?
Well, as I say before, in my family, my immediate family, I'm the only person who doesn't have Philippine citizenship. The Philippines is my home. I love the Philippines. I love the culture. I love the understanding, the patience. and everything else to go with that. I also think I can do some help to improve some of the conditions that are there, and I'll do my best to continue doing that as long as I can.
Have you learned the local language of Siquijor?
That's my real problem. My language skills are very, very bad. So I understand a lot of Visayan, Tagalog not very much at all, and my language skills are not very good. So I'm a little ashamed of that. Yes.
But you can speak Visayan.
Nearly just a little bit. Yes.
Can we hear some? Like how would you say
Please.
good morning in Visaya?
I'm Mbuntek, yes. May hapon. Ako si Mike, little things like that. But of course, sad or not so sad probably for me, but most people speak to me in English in the resort, and my friends also speak English. They even though they speak sometimes a little Taglish as well, but I understand most of that.
So your wife is an Australian as well.
My wife, my late wife, she was an Australian. I laid her to rest 8.5 years ago. She's actually buried in Siquijor, together with my mother's ashes as well. So that's my home in Siquijor.
If you would be asked to sing the national anthem, would you be able to do so?
I could try. I don't think I'll be very good, but I can try.
There's no harm in trying. We kindly ask for you to do that now.
Okay. Do I stand or do I sit down? Do I stand?
You need to
we would
stand and
appreciate-
put your
yes,
right
please.
hand on your chest, the same way that Filipinos sing the national anthem.
Hello? Hello? Try this. May ang bagili, pilis na sa langgang, halap na puso, sa dibdib ng bahay. Lupang haniran, tayan kita pagiting sa Manalupi. This is a pasisasil sa dagit ang bundok. Sa Samoy, I'm getting a bit flustered here. Time by as well, I'm getting a bit mixed up here.
You did
It's
well,
okay.
Mr. Butler.
You did well.
I
Thank
bet
I'm a
it
little ashamed of
was
that.
Kong Villa who coached you. Correct? How about Vice Chair? How about Panatang Makabayan? Maybe he knows also.
That's good. I got a little. I wonder if I might read that a little bit. Could I? Could I do that?
Go ahead, read some lines of Panatang Makabayan.
Panatang.
You need to raise your right hand.
Panatang Makabayan. In a big kahang Pilipinas. Ila ibig ang aking sinalangang. Ako ito ilibig ang
That's good
Lupig
enough.
sinalagang.
That's good enough. You did well. Let us give a hand to Mr. Butler. You did great, Mr. Butler. Vice Chair?
Madam Chair, may I be allowed to ask just 2 questions to the NBI, please?
You may proceed.
To the NBI, what we know actually is we need to, once we apply for employment and all, what we ask from NBI is the clearance. And we presume that once we are issued clearance, well, there is no pending case or no record of any derogatory record in the NBI. But earlier on, you presented actually a police report that says otherwise and is contradictory to the NBI clearance, which the applicant here has furnished this committee. So may we know, therefore, is the master list division different from the division that issues the clearance?
The question, Madam, is the master name Division?
The,
Master
the,
name
the
index
division that you mentioned earlier where you got the police
Pero-
report.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a different division compared to the division that issues the NBI clearance?
The same, madam.
It's the same. So are we saying now that the records there are not centralized?
It is centralized, Madam Chair, but just right now I verified the copy of NBI clearance of Mr. Michael John Butler. It was valid and authentic. It means he underwent our quality control procedure, meaning that he's not the same person in the records of the NBI, Madam Chair.
So just to be clear, when we ask for an NBI clearance, the document or information that should prevail is the one that will be contained in the NBI clearance and not anything else. Is that correct, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Now, let's hear from the Bureau of Immigration. You have anything more to say? The Bureau of Immigration?
Yes, good morning.
Your position about the application for naturalization, please.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, and to the honorable members of the committee. So we have for the Bureau of Immigration, we have with us certifications issued by the Bureau's Certification and Clearance Section, certifying that the name Michael John Butler, born on September 22, 1941, does not appear in the Bureau's HDO database, blacklist, watch list, alert list, and or derogatory records as of May 3, 2026. We have also a certification dated May 4, 2026, showing the travel records of Michael John Butler, showing multiple lawful entries and departures through authorized ports of entry. So, with that, Your Honor, Madam Chair, and considering that no derogatory immigration records exist against the applicant, the Bureau of Immigration interposes no objection to the
Thank you.
proposed legislative grant of Philippine citizenship to
Comsec,
Mr. Butler.
kindly receive the certification or the position paper of the Bureau of Immigration. Thank you. Last is the PNP.
Madam Chair, good morning. For the PNP, so we conducted three-folds approach on the determination of the moral character of the applicant Michael John Butler. The first is the internal checks, wherein we check all of the database in the PNP, specifically the DIDM, or the Directorate for Investigation and Detective Management, in which the finding of which are all negative of any derogatory information. We also task the Police Regional Office of the Negros Island region, okay, to conduct neighborhood checks and local agency checks, the purpose of which is to determine the perspective of the community on the moral character of the applicant, and the Police Regional Office informed us that they found no derogatory information that may negatively affect the good moral character of Michael John Butler. Also, we have here ready a certification from the Directorate for Intelligence showing the result of our coordination with the Australian Federal Police, okay, which they informed us of the result of their record check last May 4, in which they informed us that on their file, Michael John Butler has no derogatory record, okay, on their office. And we have such certification on that effect ready for submission to this committee now, Your Honor. And if I may manifest, for the certification for for Andres Miguel Soriano IV and Mr. Lucci, we have the certification also ready for submission now, Your Honor.
Thank you, PNP. To be consistent with regards to the requirement in naturalization, may I require as well the same naturalization from the DFA, NBI, and PNP the certification attesting to the comparable background investigation or whatever investigation was conducted by the foreign counterpart. What is important is that you did the necessary coordination, and whatever will be the response of the foreign counterpart, just indicate that in the certification. PNP, can you issue similar certification?
Yes, in fact, we have it ready now, Your Honor.
It's ready now,
Yes.
including that for Lucci and Soriano,
Yes, yes.
as well as Butler.
Yes, Your Honor.
That's good. Thank you. NBI?
Yes, Madam Chair, we will relay to our International Operations Division to include
Mr. Butler.
Mr. Butler to
So,
for the clearance.
3 certifications now
Madam Chair.
pending before the NBI.
Yes, ma'am.
What is important really is just to mention in the NBI that you mention the certification that you reach out to the foreign counterpart, and whatever their responses are, just include it in the certification. Thank you. How about the DFA? Can you do that also?
Yes, Your Honor, we will comply.
Thank you. Thank you. So please be guided by our next schedule of hearing. That will be on May 20, 2026. All the position papers and certifications must be submitted to the committee at least 3 days before May 20. That's for the record. So, Mr. Butler, Honorable Villa, that concludes our first, but not yet last, deliberation on your bill for naturalization. Let us erase even the slightest doubt on the alleged report of Tubod Police Station. So I would be insisting, Honorable Villa, that we still secure the necessary clearance. If there's no Tubod Police Station, perhaps let's secure it from the province of Siquijor, PNP, as well as the RTC OCC of Siquijor. Honorable Villa, would you like to say something?
Madam Chair, we will comply.
Yes, thank you. Let's overwhelm with the necessary clearances the application for
Because,
naturalization of
he's
Mr.
a
Butler.
good man. When I was the governor, he donated a lot, which is the famous waterfalls Cambuga.
You can donate also in Batangas. Thank you, Honorable Villa. That concludes our first deliberation on the application for naturalization of Michael Butler. Now we proceed to our last item in our agenda. Thank you, Mr. Butler.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
I hope to see you again on our next hearing.
In Siquijor, yes.
If you in Siquijor. Perhaps in Batangas if you will donate a lot. Okay, so that concludes our application for naturalization deliberation. Now we proceed to our last item. Our last item are the bills on the creation of new court sala. May we recognize the authors of the bill to deliver their respective sponsorship speeches.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Vice Chair Lagbas.
Yes, is it possible for us to excuse already our NBI officials since their part here is done, Madam Chair?
The NBI is excused. Mr. Butler, you may be excused as well.
May the DFA take your leave,
If
Your
you
Honor.
are not part of the creation of court sala, then the DFA, the BI, and the PNP are all excused.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
May we recognize the Honorable Crispin Diego Ping D. Remulla for his sponsorship speeches in support of House Bill 5921 and 5922.
Good morning to our colleagues and to our resource persons. Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me start with my sponsorship speech. Madam Chair, fellow public servants, guests, magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Article 3, Section 16 of the 1987 Constitution reminds us that all persons shall have the right to a speedy disposition of their cases before all judicial, quasi-judicial, or administrative bodies. It is in this spirit of upholding this right that we stand here today. Ngunit sa kasalukuyan, ang mga residente ng Tansa at 13 Martires ay nakikihati pa rin sa isang sistema ng hustisya na pinagsasaluhan ng iba pang kalapit na lungsod at bayan. Currently, Madam Chair, our regional trial court in Trece Martires City is shared also by the municipality of Tansa and General Trias City. Our courts in Trece Martires and Tansa have been working tirelessly with more than 10,000 cases across the 3 regional trial court branches, serving Trece Martires and the municipality of Tansa. Our judges and our court personnel have shown remarkable dedication. Ngunit sa dami ng kasong nakasampa, nahihirapan na ang mga hukuman na makasabay sa proseso. The population of both cities has grown from 1 million in 2010 to from 500,000 in 2010 to over 1 million today. The population doubled, but the courts did not. How can we deliver true and efficient justice when even judges and court staff are overwhelmed by the number of cases on their docket? This fact alone justifies adding more courts to both cities. This is why these bills seek to create a total of 14 new courts in the 7th District of Cavite, 6 regional trial courts and 1 family court in Tansa and Trece Martires City, respectively. It is also a timely opportunity to align with Republic Act number 8369 or the Family Courts Act, which mandates that each city and province shall have at least 1 designated family court. This measure is a practical and necessary investment in our justice system. Madam Chair, this is not just a want but a necessity to streamline judicial proceedings and ensure that the people have an efficient, accessible, and responsive justice system. Hindi lang ito tungkol sa paggawa ng bagong opisina, tungkol ito sa pagbibigay na mas mabilis at mas maayos na serbisyo para sa bawat Caviteño. Let us give the people of Cavite the courts and responsive justice system that they rightfully deserve. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Remulla. Next is the Honorable San Judal Shimura to sponsor House Bill number 6056.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Vice Chair Lagbas.
on behalf of the Honorable Shimura, for this morning's deliberation, I wish to sponsor his bill and move that his explanatory note be adopted as the sponsorship speech.
There's a motion to adopt the explanatory note of House Bill number 6056. Is there any second? The same has been seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. The explanatory note of House Bill number 6056 is hereby adopted at the sponsorship speech of the Honorable Shimura. Now we proceed to House Bill number 6057. Same. Would you like to make the same motion? 6057.
Madam Chair, on behalf again of Representative Shimura, I wish to sponsor for this morning House Bill 6057 and move that his explanatory note be adopted as a sponsorship speech.
There's a motion to adopt the explanatory note of 6057 as the sponsorship speech of the author, Honorable Shimura. Is there any second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Now we proceed to 6992. We recognize the Honorable Deputy Speaker, Vincent Emano, Bambi Emano.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Vice Chair Lagbas.
on behalf of Deputy Speaker Bambi Imano, I wish to sponsor for this morning's deliberation his House bill and move that his explanatory note attached to the bill be adopted as a sponsorship speech.
There's a similar motion to adopt the explanatory note of House Bill 6992 as the sponsorship speech of the Honorable Emano. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. That concludes the sponsorship speeches of the authors of the creation of Court Sala. Now let's hear from the resource persons. The court administrator, the Office of the Court Administrator, for the record, submitted their comment to the creation of the Court Sala, but we opted to hear their position on this on the next hearing since they solicited the excuse from attending in today's hearing. So may we call the Department of Justice?
Good morning, Madam Chair. I'm City Prosecutor of 13 Martires City, Juan Carlos Tamundong. We fully support, Your Honor, the House Bill of our good Congressman Kong Ping Remulla, and may we just manifest Your Honor, Madam Chair, that in connection with the House Bill, there must be a plantilla position for the corresponding prosecutors, Your Honor, for regional trial courts. In this case, Your Honor, 2 prosecutors for regional trial courts, each sala, Your Honor. So we support, Your Honor, the bill.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Vice Chair Lagbas.
considering the manifestation from DOJ, I move that the draft bill be amended to include the provision for plantilla positions or automatic designation of additional prosecutor and a public attorney for the to be created RTC or salas, Madam Chair.
There is a motion to amend the pending bill so as to include the creation of 1 plantilla position for prosecutor and 1 plantilla position for PAO for each court sala that is created. Is there any second? The same has been seconded. Any objection? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Are there other manifestations from the DOJ?
None, Your Honor.
None, Your Honor.
May we call the Public Attorney's Office first? Kindly send the necessary notice to the PAO for our next hearing on May 20. DBM. Do we have the DBM? The DBM left already. May we direct the committee secretary to send all the necessary notices to the resource persons in support or with regards to the creation of the court sala. May we direct as well all the resource persons for the creation of court sala to submit the written position paper. Written na paper pa. Okay, so that concludes our first deliberation on the creation of court sala. That is House Bill number 6992, House Bill 6057, 6056, 5922, 5921. Thank you, Honorable Ping Remulla, for coming.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you to all the justice members who stayed behind. Thank you, Vice Chair Lagbas. If the justice members have no other matters to discuss, then the chair is ready to hear the necessary motion. There's a motion to suspend our today's hearing. Do I hear a second?
Second.
The same has been seconded. Any objection? Hearing none. The hearing is hereby suspended.
Our stakeholders with or whatever gusto niyo pong ipasa. As of now po kasi, yung ating exercise is on the policy matter pa at saka political pa siya in nature. So si COA naman po, nandirito lang, hindi po kaming magbigay ng aming expertise kung kailangan ng mga ahensyang partners namin if there would be need for our expertise.
And may we hear from the National Institute of Health, University of Manila, Dr. Shelley Ann F. de la Vega.